everyone, this is your boy Feltouch here and welcome to another video of mine, and today we're going to be doing the Premier League Player of the Month SBC. This is the first time I've ever actually done a proper SBC on this channel, simply because for the most part they've been far too expensive, and when I played the earlier versions of the game I never really knew what sides I was going to make, so I never really wanted to invest my coins in players which I knew perhaps may decrease in value or maybe worth too much, or in a side which I just simply wouldn't use in the future. But today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the easiest, simplest way of purchasing the players in order to complete this SBC. So as you can see here, there's lots of different requirements for each of the things. As you can see here, 10 minimum Premier League players, 1 Spurs player, team of the week players, you need 1 of those. On top of that, you need a minimum overall rating of 84, which is always going to push the prices up, and also a minimum chemistry of 90. So this is the way I did this one. As you can see here, this side here cost me a total of 64,500. So Begovic was 2,400. I should recommend probably stopping the video perhaps at this point if you want to make this exact team. And for me, it cost a little bit less than what Footbin perhaps was recommending. And if you are to make these teams, I'd highly suggest just buying players on bids for the most part if you've got the time to do it. I know a lot of people don't, and it's probably worth just doing it on bids, because I imagine you can make a hell of a lot of savings. For example, Aaron Ramsey here, I picked him up for 5,500 and he's going for around 6,600 as of the time I'm recording this. It's the same with lots of other players like Silva. Kane was going for the same sort of price. You can get Shaqiri for about 3,400. So I'd highly recommend just getting these players on bids. So as I said, this side here cost me 64,500. So I'm going to submit this side here. The one in form which I included was Alberto Della Bella, and I recommend picking him up just because he's 11k. He's pretty much one of the cheapest informs in the entire game, and when the Premier League players are so expensive, he's a fantastic player to add to your side. So I'm going to submit this. Right, here we go, and that gets me a very nice 1 prime gold players pack. And I'm not going to open any of those until the Premier League team of the season's out, because at the moment I don't really see much value. There has been a team of the season just released, but the players in it for the most part aren't particularly great and don't really benefit the Premier League side which I have. So here is the Bundesliga one. You need 9 players from the Bundesliga, a minimum of 2 Hamburg or Leverkusen players. You also need 2 Team of the Week players, as well as a minimum overall rating of 83 and a team chemistry of 90. So this is a pretty tough one to do, and as you can see here, this is the side I decided to make. So it's got all the players which are in this side. I just decided to go for these 2 Bayer Leverkusen players. You can see here I've added this man here, Lars Bender, and out wide I decided to add Karim Bel-Arabi. A lot of these players are pretty expensive. I'd recommend this method because it is fairly cheap. 2 really cheap informs up front, Max Kruse, who I reviewed a couple of weeks ago, and also Andre Pierre Gignac, the Big Mac, and he's only 21 grand. So I'd recommend perhaps getting those players in. The reason I decided to go for Gignac's inform is because he fits in pretty easily. He's just up there as striker, whereas if you have a defender or a goalkeeper, it perhaps complicates things a little more. I recommend doing it with this side, especially just because you can buy people like Nastasic who are only 650. Other players, for example, like Weigl, for example, are only 900. And this side in total cost me 63,500. So that's a pretty decent price. It's overall going to cost me well under about 200k. When I say well under, a couple of grand under 200 grand. And for me, that's a very decent price. So this is the side I'm submitting. As you can see here, not all the players are in proper positions. For example, these guys aren't really on the best chemistry, but it doesn't really matter. You only need a minimum of 90, and I've got 94, as you can see at the top, which is fine. So let's submit this squad here, and we get ourselves yet another prime gold players pack, which I will use, as I said, when it comes to the team of the season for the Premier League. Now the next one's the simplest one. You need 11 Korean players with 100 chemistry, and for most part you can buy all these players for about 200 coins. The entire backline, the CDM, they all cost 200. In fact, some of them cost 150. In fact, the right midfielder is a little bit more pricey at 500. The cam is 300. The left midfielder again is 300. But if you're lucky, you can get all these players on 200 bids. If you've got any South Korean players in your club right now, I'd highly recommend selling them because they are literally like gold dust. People are willing to buy them. The strikers are perhaps the priciest. They cost 550. Yeah, that one was 450. So you can get them at varying rates. But overall, this side cost me 3,250. It's the cheapest variant of it all. And you get yourself a gold pack. So if you never know, you might as well just take it. If you're not even going to complete this SBC, you may think, well, let's just perhaps just do that one so you get a gold pack for less than what it costs usually. So let's have a look at the Around the World one. This is the final challenge. You need 11 nationalities, 1 Team of the Week player, and a minimum overall rating of 84 and a team chemistry of 95. So this one is a tough one, and it's also fairly expensive to complete as well. Now I decided in this one to create a Serie A team. I looked at a couple of different variations. It's difficult perhaps to do other leagues at this sort of price anyway than a lot of other teams. So I tried doing it with, for example, La Liga, and I just couldn't simply do it because they have a lot of Spanish players in that division, and I wasn't willing to spend a lot of money. I've had to buy every single one of these players in this entire SBC because I don't really keep any players in my club. And I also looked at the Premier League, and that's a very expensive league at the moment simply because of all the different things floating around, whether it's getting the 84 plus guaranteed player. But for this one, I decided, well, this seems like the best division for me. I looked at it, and I decided in the end I was going to do this one. I picked up for this one the Nikola Kalinic in form. I reviewed him a long time ago now, but look, I feel a bit sorry having to discard some of these players. Well, they're pretty much being discarded. All this club history of this player, someone's had a great time banging in the goals of that Kalinic. It might have even been the one I reviewed all that time ago. But overall, this sign here cost me 66,950, so it's the priciest of the 3 of them. But, you know, I think this is the simplest way of doing it. As I said earlier, get the players on bids and you can probably get them a little bit cheaper than the buy now. So this is the final one. Let's submit that and we get ourselves a Jumbo Premium Gold Pack, which is perhaps the most unfair of them all. And as you can see, I've got a cheeky reward. And here is the man of the moment, Player of the Month, Heung Min Son. Now, a few of you may be wondering, is it worth doing it for this card? Because surely he's going to be in the team of the season. And I think he will be, because he's had a pretty decent year in the Premier League. He's won Player of the Month twice now. But for me, his stats are just absolutely insane, and I don't feel like I'll be able to afford the team of the season one personally. I mean, there's an 88 one knocking about in the market, and he's going for around 170k as I speak. But in my personal opinion, he's got around 70 more stats than the other one, and this card is just absolutely insane. I cannot wait to be able to use it, and probably perhaps maybe even do a video tomorrow on him or some point. You'll definitely see me using him, but this video is just to show you guys. But this video is just to show you how easy or the cheapest way of getting him. To read out some of his stats if you've not seen him already, he's going 93 pace overall, 93 sprint speed, 91 acceleration, 92 positioning, 94 finishing, 95 shot power and 99 long shots, 84 volleys and 82 penalties. And he's also got 88 agility, 87 balance, 89 reactions and 88 ball control, plus 94 dribbling. Plus he's got 99 heading accuracy, 88 vision, 92 crossing, 93 kick accuracy and 96 short passing. As well as that, 99 curve, 99 stamina, 89 jumping. The only weakness he has perhaps is his weakness, and that is his 77 strength. But overall for me, he's got 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot. He's 6 inches tall, he's got high work rates. In my opinion, he's going to fit in so nicely on my side. I currently play a 4-3-2-1, and he's hopefully either going to play as a left forward. I could perhaps even slot him up front, because I imagine he's going to score goals up there. But for me, this is a fantastic signing. I cannot wait to use him. Bring on the team of the season, where there'll be loads of players I just simply can't afford. But I'm looking forward to using this Son out at some point. The prices are gradually dropping. Perhaps you may be able to complete this SBC a little bit later. It's around for 14 days, so you've got plenty of time to complete it. And if the Premier League team of the season does come out, I imagine you may see a bit more of a market decrease in total, just because there'll be so many people buying packs. But overall, this Son has cost me 198,000 coins, and for that price, I consider it very, very decent. So there is my Heung Min Son. He's going to my club. Let me know if you guys can find any other cheaper way of completing this SBC by posting your comments down below. It's not going to help me, but it's going to help other viewers, and I'm sure everybody would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and check out the links in the description below. I'll read a virtue.